This is not a joke. This tiny creature, smaller than your hand, can throw a punch so fast it moves faster than a bullet fired from a gun. And what happens next will completely change how you see the ocean. Despite its name, this animal is not actually a shrimp. It belongs to an ancient group of ocean predators called stomatopods, a lineage that has survived on Earth for over 400 million years. There are more than 400 different species, hiding in reefs across the Indian and Pacific Oceans. But the strangest part was still to come. The skull was not simply unusual. It belonged to an animal completely new to science. Scientists soon realized they were looking at a member of the cattle family, yet it looked more like an antelope. They gave it a new scientific name, Pseudoryx Nghetinhensis. And suddenly, the forests of the Annamites had revealed something the modern world had never known existed. And yet, even after discovering it, scientists still could not answer the simplest questions. Where exactly does the Saola live? What does it eat? How does it find a mate? And how many are left? The animal had finally been given a name, but its life remained almost completely hidden. The Saola does not live in an ordinary forest. Its world is a maze of steep mountains, dense evergreen vegetation, narrow valleys, and streams. Here, visibility can disappear within just a few meters. For a large mammal, this should not be enough to remain a mystery. But in the Annamites, the forest is almost perfectly built to hide one. For thousands of years, this forest was the Saola's refuge. But the greatest danger would not come from another predator. It would come from outside the forest. As people entered these mountains, hunting pressure and wire snares spread through the same remote landscape. And for an animal this rare, even a single snare can become a deadly threat. The more scientists searched, the more mysterious the Saola became. Years could pass without a confirmed sighting. Camera traps became some of the most important eyes in this forest. Hidden along remote trails, they waited silently, day and night. But most of the time, they captured everything except the animal everyone was looking for. And sometimes, the forest finally gives up a glimpse. A shape appears between the leaves. 2 straight horns, a dark body, a few seconds of movement, and then nothing. For researchers, even a brief image can be precious. Because with the Saola, the greatest mystery is not proving that it exists. It is discovering how much of its hidden world is still left. And then comes the question no one can answer with certainty. How many Saola are left? There is no reliable population count hiding somewhere in these mountains. Every confirmed image is a rare piece of evidence, and every empty camera trap leaves scientists with the same uncomfortable possibility, that the animal may be even rarer than we realize. But rarity alone does not make a species disappear. The danger begins when a small population is pushed under pressure it cannot escape. Across the Annamite forests, wire snares can remain hidden along animal trails for months. And for the Saola, whose numbers may already be extremely small, this invisible threat could have devastating consequences. By now, the Saola was no longer simply a scientific discovery. It had become a race against time. Conservation teams began searching the Annamites, removing threats and placing camera traps deep inside the forest. But protecting an animal you can barely find creates an extraordinary problem. Before you can save it, you have to find it. Removing the traps does not bring the Saola back. It only removes one of the dangers standing between this animal and survival. The forest still has to remain connected. The animal still has to find food, shelter, and a safe place to reproduce. And somewhere inside these mountains, a species may still be moving through the shadows, unseen. The Saola had been discovered. Its forest had been mapped. Its threats had been documented. And yet, the most important questions remained unanswered. We still do not know exactly how many survive in the wild. We still know remarkably little about their lives. and every unanswered question makes the future of this animal more uncertain. In just a few years, the Saola changed what scientists thought was possible. A large mammal had been hiding in plain sight in forests explored by people for generations. Its discovery was a reminder that even today, nature can still keep extraordinary secrets. But discovering a species is only the beginning. The real challenge is making sure it does not disappear before we truly understand it. Today, the Saola survives as one of the world's most mysterious mammals. Its future depends on forests that are still standing and on the people working to protect them. There is no easy way to save an animal we can barely see. But every protected forest, every removed snare, and every new piece of evidence brings scientists one step closer to understanding what remains. And somewhere beyond the last camera trap, beyond the trails and the researchers, the Saola may still be moving through the forest. We may never know how many times it has passed unseen. We may never know how many generations have lived here without ever being recorded. But that is what makes the Saola so extraordinary. We found it, and somehow it is still hiding from us. Perhaps that is the greatest lesson of the Saola. Some of the world's most remarkable animals are not the ones we see every day. They are the ones living quietly beyond our reach, in places we rarely enter. And sometimes, protecting a species begins with something surprisingly simple: protecting the world that allows it to remain hidden. More than 3 decades after its discovery, the Saola remains one of the least understood large mammals on Earth. It has been photographed, studied, and searched for, yet so much of its life remains unknown. Perhaps we will one day learn where it travels, how it lives, and how many still survive. Until then, the forest keeps the answers. The Saola was once completely unknown to science. Then, for a brief moment, the forest revealed its secret. Today, the challenge is no longer simply to discover this animal, but to make sure it survives. Because somewhere beyond these trees, an animal we almost never see may still be walking through the shadows. And perhaps that is the greatest mystery of all.